Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Abrazo Football Podcast. Brooks and Blaine in the house as per usual. And in the week that just passed, listen, Brooks, I think we're going in the right direction, man. We've been at this for probably just under 2 years at this point, and we haven't really gotten the recognition we feel like we deserve, have we? You know, BT Sports hasn't reached out for any, interviews. ESPN FC, they don't want me on the panel. They don't want you to write in Marca. But this last week, we got a tip or some advice from a veteran in the game, former captain of England, former Chelsea captain, Mr. John Terry, JohnTerry.26 on Instagram, dropped by the page to show your boys some love. Saw one of our clips, and he wanted to let us know how he felt about it. Brooks, do you want to tell the people what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so we put up a quick, less than a minute long reel. I don't even know how. Obviously, so it was during this all Chelsea everything episode that we did a couple weeks ago with our boy Yemi. You and him were in Chelsea shirts. I obviously was not because I don't support them. And we had a little bit of a say on who he is outside the pitch, off the pitch, I guess. And to end it, we did say great player, but and when it all comes down to it, probably not the greatest guy in the world, which I thought was just a universally known fact, footballing fact. But obviously, he had some differing opinions on the matter, and let us hear it. Definitely let us hear it.
Yeah, so for the people at home, this is what Mr. John Terry 26 had to say to us. This is the comment he left us. It's very colorful. I don't want us to get in trouble, so I will be bleeping the bad words. But he said, "Who the F are you three to judge me?" ? There's a space between the me and the question mark. So he's probably blitzed at this point in the afternoon. And typos all over the place. Probably wrote this in a notepad. Who the F are you three to judge me? ? I never met any of you! I gave my life and everything I had for Chelsea. You three clowns don't deserve to talk about me or our club, comma. While you're at it, take the Chelsea shirt off! That hurt. That hurt. Again, to reiterate, Brooks, what did we say about this man? We say about this man?
Yeah, so I definitely, put up the reel, and probably I think that what the initially was most hurtful was probably the caption, which said John Terry, period, classless. And so, and then on the reel we had our opinion about him off the field, which was it. Said Frank Lampard, amazing person. Not the same for this guy. Again, I just thought everybody in the world knew that, including himself. But regardless, we didn't even bring up any of the deep stuff, really. But hey, obviously he's out here, raking through hashtags of his own name, because I didn't even tag him. I literally just hashtagged his name. Yeah. I don't follow him on Instagram. I don't care. I don't follow Chelsea on Instagram. I said hashtag John Terry, maybe even hashtag Chelsea. This dude, in between Googling himself, was hashtagging.
Yo, he sifted out. He sifted it out, bro. You got to be sleuthing hard to find us. I appreciate the effort. I applaud the effort. He was deep in those Instagram hashtag searches. I'm talking fifth or sixth page of results. He's like, I want to hear what the non-mainstream people, the people that barely have an audience, have to say. Now we're on the map, though, bro. We've arrived.
Yeah, I mean, but speaking of that, at the time, I think it was 798 followers. We didn't even hit the 800 yet. This guy's out here, coming for everyone that has, a differing opinion. But I will say that,
indiscriminate.
Yeah, I will just say, first of all, it's okay to be a Chelsea fan and not like him. That's all right. They're not, you don't have to like him to be a Chelsea fan. So, you keep that shirt on. Don't worry about this.
I might have to take this shirt off. I told Kaylee, I was like, we can't go back to London. I'm gonna get knocked over. He's gonna see me walking down Kings Road. He's gonna be like, "There he goes. Go get him. Go get him." If they got my name, like my picture on like I do not enter Stamford Bridge. John Terry's like these clowns can never come here ever.
Oh my
I'm,
gosh.
it's funny though.
It's funny. I mean, it's
So
funny.
yeah.
But
So my
yeah.
question, Brooks, is like, what do we do about this? And to the people watching or listening, maybe we should throw a poll up. Do we respond to John Terry? We got some stuff, in the chamber. And clap back at him. You'll have some fun with this, since we know he reads comments.
Yeah,
Since we know he's. But then again, he blocked us. He
that's
blocked
true.
all of us. He
All
blocked.
every
He blocked all of our accounts.
everything we're
So
associated with.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that means like he just doesn't. He can't hear it anymore. But like we could theoretically still we could clap back. We could get him to see it. We
Yeah, I mean,
could get him
because
to see it.
judging off of how like deep he went to find the last post, I'm sure this other one would get to him as well. He would
Yeah.
find it, somehow. Someone would tell him. One of the
Yeah.
sleuths out there that haven't blocked us would probably, be able to, hey, at him or whatever, screenshot it.
This kid
So
will find it. My question is, do we a clap back, call him a clown, get this thing ugly, see if he'll reply,
we should be
or
wearing
do
wigs
we?
of clown wigs right now.
We should, with the red nose, or do we take the high ground, send the man an abrazo yerba mate care package, a couple gourds, a couple different blends for him and the whole family, extend the olive branch and tell him, hey, you got some healing to do. You got some growing to do. You got some learning to do. And we're going to help you. Take things first and become powered by the plant. What do you think, Brooks? Should we let the people decide, or should we decide right here, right now?
I mean, probably let the people decide, but obviously, our name is called Abrazo. So we're not out here trying to spread hate. That means hug in Spanish for everybody that's not, up to their year one level of Spanish. But so I think that it would probably be beneficial for us to send him a package. But I also like the little bit of banter that's going back and forth. Although I think one side is taking it far more personally than the other side. But
Yeah.
I say we get him some mate. I think that would be something
Let's
nice.
get him a care package.
You know?
We got the memes on deck. We got stuff
We
in the
got the memes
chamber.
on
We got
deck. We got
drafts
the
locked and
yeah,
loaded.
definitely got the assault in the
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
drafts pages, but that's kind of not what we
Maybe.
stand for.
Yeah, let's all right, then let's get him. We'll ask, we'll get a vote out there, but let's tentatively put together a care package for this old man. Get him
Yeah.
out of his feelings. So funny.
See if it can be delivered by a therapist, perhaps. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. All right, man. Let's move on from Mr. John Terry 26. You know what I mean? Let's move back. I don't want any more drama. I want to go to Stamford Bridge later this year. So I don't want to get knocked over. Let's move on. So last week, Champions League, we aren't going to talk about Chelsea because I'm not allowed to. There's nothing to talk about. They haven't scored, they lost to Dortmund. They lost to Southampton. They can't win a game, so there's nothing to talk about. But we can talk about the rematch between Bayern Munich and PSG in Paris. Game starts out, Mbappe's on the bench. He's injured. He's maybe at 30, 40%. Ultimately, Kingsley Coman scores the goal. Bayern win the game 1-0. But question to you, I don't want a recap of the game.
Yeah.
Can Paris Saint-Germain bounce back? Or are they effectively eliminated from the UEFA Champions League?
They can bounce back, but I just don't see it happening, especially today when they had to beat Lille in the 95th minute.
Dead ball. Yeah,
wonder penalty. Wonder shot by Messi from. So I don't know. I don't think. I mean, historically, I would say they can, but like I just think I was telling you off camera, like they just don't have it in their mental capacity to get past these guys. A weakened Bayern Munich, who aren't the same Bayern Munich that they've lost to in the past. This is a bit of a weakened Bayern Munich, but yeah, I don't see it happening. I wish it did because always representing the squad, but. Man, I just don't really see it happening. I don't see it happening. What about you?
I mean, so this is I thought about it. So
Oh wait, sorry. Plus with an injured Neymar, who probably that
Yeah.
ankle injury looked like. No, that looked nasty.
Right, dude, ankle injury to Neymar right on schedule.
Yeah.
Right on schedule. He doesn't play. He takes March off. He does
Yeah.
not play football in the month of March
No.
ever. I can't remember the last time. It's been over 5 years since he's played
Wait, was he back last year or no?
March.
Because I thought that maybe last year was one of them. But no, you're right. He's
Oh,
always injured
maybe he
in a
didn't
round
come
of
back, but still,
no,
one out
always.
of five.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question, I mean, and people might think a lot of people say they can't play Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi all at the same time and get the best out of the squad. So this might actually end up being, you know, a benefit. Neymar doesn't play. Mbappe and Messi do play. Maybe they do pull a rabbit out the hat, get past them, and then at a later stage in the tournament, Neymar can come back and maybe he can come off the bench and offer something because he's not at full. Kind of the same way Mbappe came off the bench and almost offered 2 goals, but ultimately was called offside. So I think that might actually end up to be, I don't want to say a blessing, but a blessing in disguise. But in reality, yeah, they're probably, I mean, oh yeah, what I was going to say is, so like, but we're looking at like Messi's pretty determined right now, isn't he? I feel like he's still like in the, like, I am like trying to do the impossible mode, like just won the World Cup, you know, 6 months prior or whatever, won his Finalissima, he won the Copa America. So I think if there was ever a time for them to like push it to like the sixth gear,
Yeah.
this would be it. And Mbappe, obviously, he's motivated. He probably wants to get out of Paris after the season anyway. There's still drama. Him and Neymar fight like husband and wife. They literally fight like husband and wife. So, I mean, they were fighting over the loss this game. When they scored, they were hugging each other. Like, I don't understand what the deal is between those two. But I feel like, I'm going to go ahead and say I think they're going to win the game.
Okay.
I don't think I think they're going to find it in them. They're going to do it.
I hope so, but because to your point, like maybe this is the best because yeah, when Mbappe came off the bench against them, oh my gosh, this dude was firing. Like so maybe if what?
I was going to say 90 minutes of that, I don't think, because Bayern Munich, they're playing like a 3-7 or a 3-6-1 or a 3-5-2. Like they're playing like a really weird lineup these days. Julian Nagelsmann has them out there. So I think they have a way forward if let's say this, if Mbappe's healthy. Right now he is. And if Messi's healthy, I think those two, with Vitinha, Verratti, as long as, I won't say anything negative. I think, that's all I'm going to say.
I mean, let's just hope that maybe even, let's say that Neymar is healthy for a 30 minutes like Mbappe was, and maybe he could bring that spark off the bench too if he does get in there for a 30-minute, 40-minute cameo and kind of have that same effect. Because Mbappe, man, when he came in, he brought it all. So a couple of offsides, a couple goals called back, which were so close, but he came in on fire. So maybe, to your point, that's something Neymar can bring if he does end up being able to suit up, but can't play the whole 90. But that just looked nasty coming off a stretcher. Yeah. And that ankle injury just.
Get well soon, brother. Yeah. Get well soon, little brother.
Hope they do it, but no, I'm going to say no. The whole year I've been saying they're going to win it, but like the last few weeks, they just have looked bad. They really haven't looked great since coming back from the World Cup break. So, I hope they do, but it just hasn't looked good the last few weeks.
All right, man. Well, let's keep it moving. Then let's keep going. Let's keep going. Premier League. We talk a lot about the Premier League. We can't help it. Let's get the cat out of the bag. Arsenal had a big game yesterday. Coming back from a defeat. From City. Title race is what they're calling it. Big win, right? Goals from Saka. Jorginho with the own goal off the crossbar, back of the keeper's head into the net. Who I feel like it was 4. Oh, Gabriel had the late runner, and who scored the other goal? I feel like it was 4-2, right?
Yeah, it was Zinchenko's first goal.
That's right. The laser to the low
really
laser.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So shout out to your boys.
Yeah, so that was amazing. They went down 1-0 in the 6th minute, and I just thought, okay, let me just not, I'm not going to watch this game. Then I think I turned it on at like halftime, Or like right as Bukayo Saka scored his goal is when I turned it on. They just again like so we've talked about this kind of Arsenal before. Like they, I was just it seems like I don't know if you've seen these stats pop up where it's like since 2023 began, here's the EP or here's like the
I
table.
hate those stats.
I know, but like especially same because right now Arsenal's down in like I think it's like eighth or something. If that were I'm sure Chelsea's way down there, but so they
Yeah.
haven't looked good this season is what I'm getting at. So finally,
Okay.
to be able to come back from being down twice in that game and then come back and still win it like that was I mean that just showed a ton of spirit. So really happy to see that, and it's not like there wasn't like this Aston Villa is not amazing. They hold it down as a mid-table team, but it's those kind of games that Arsenal would lose in the past, or
Yeah.
even just last year. So, or even 2 weeks ago against Everton. So, happy to see them pull that one out. It was not an easy win, but they ended up making it all right 4-2. So happy to see them back on top of the table, and then Man City dropping points, which it was just a really good day yesterday. As an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, man. That was weird. That was wacky, man. Man City, it's like, yeah. So shout out to Arsenal. I'm glad they could pull it off and make up some ground. They still got the game in hand too, so
Still
there's
got the
still a
game in
lot to
hand.
be optimistic. Yeah.
Got the game in hand.
Okay.
Jack Grealish lost his first game in Pumas. He made the switch. Supposed to be the
I
highest paid
saw.
Englishman, right?
I saw it. Yeah. I saw him.
Crazy.
He had the futures on
Yeah.
in full color. No more blackout
No more.
boots.
Yeah.
No more blackout boots. He got the. Did he get the assist for for Bernardo Silva? Was it
I
his
think he's been
assist?
playing amazing. The last few months, he's really been on
Yeah,
fire for that.
he
For
has
the
been good. Yeah.
really happy to see that because I don't want him to go down as £100, $100 million player that didn't perform. But that being said, I just want to quickly. I don't know how much time you have. I just wanted to get your opinion real quick on what it is that Puma is doing because they keep poaching these players, and it's like we talk about coolness a lot, like people that have cool factors and brands that have cool factors. Like for me, it never was Puma. Obviously, it was always Nike first. I guess Adidas would come second. Puma was kind of nowhere near it. But now it's like, I mean, for me, it's always going to be Nike, but Puma's right there with the people they're attracting and the players that they're getting.
Yeah.
They're doing some big
I
moves right now.
they are doing some big moves. Will it work? Like I guess this is where you find out if marketing
Yeah,
actually works or if people care more about the product. It's like Jack Grealish, Neymar, whoever, Antoine Griezmann. Like these are all like fashionable guys that young people look up to.
yeah,
Like they're cool. They're like superstars. It's like, but do you want to play in the
yeah, Puma.
futures,
Yeah,
or would you, or like, would you still rather play in what like Mbappe got on?
yeah,
Is it still like one, like let's just say the best player with the best shoe, or this like the second, third, fourth, and fifth best player with the third best shoe? Like I still, I
yeah,
mean, I feel like I mean, I would probably, it would be a hard for me to ever buy a Puma. To spend my money on a Puma, it would be very, very, very hard.
yeah.
I'll tell you the truth. I just bought a pair of Adidas cleats last night.
What'd you
So
get and why?
the Predator remakes,
Okay,
just
okay. No, yeah, you gotta
nostalgia.
have that. Yeah, of course, of course, of
Yeah,
course.
which I mean, I'll probably send them back. I just want to see what a Predator feels like to play in. 20 years, or
Yeah,
20 years, like 25 years after the fact. But I'll, like, realistically, I'll probably send them back because I already know I only play Nikes. I just want to
yeah.
see what they're like. But that being said, I don't remember what the question was, to be
Well,
honest.
just the
But
cool because like you brought up a good point. We are really going to see if it is, if marketing is what wins over, or is it a hard product. So, but to your point, like I know that David Beckham's son Romeo signed with Puma, and his dad is obviously a lifetime Adidas athlete, and Romeo been spotted all the time wearing Nikes. Like that whole family, kind of aside from David Beckham, is holds down Nike, but
yeah,
he in his interview he was like, no, I just love who they're getting. They have really cool people. Like I admire Neymar. I think he's a great like footballer and on and off the pitch. I like his style. So that's just like the reason I chose Puma. So I know that we're getting older, but maybe this younger generation, is turning into potentially some Puma people. So you just have to
yeah.
wait it out, I guess. I don't know.
And to be honest, like if that's the direction things are going, like if that's the direction things are going, and Puma, like if I'd be I'm like I don't own Nike stock because it's mostly worthless, but if Puma is able to convince a generation that their
Yeah,
product is better, and to be honest with you, there's not much difference between like the boots Puma's putting out, they're good boots. Like
yeah,
there's nothing wrong. Like they're fantastic boots. Like a friend of mine that I play with just got the new ones that Jack Grealish has, or that all the Puma athletes have. I tried them on. They're amazing. There's nothing wrong with those. It's just it's a preference.
yeah,
So if they can convince, a new generation that Puma's the way to go, and like they already have Man City, I guess Borussia Mönchengladbach, like Borussia Dortmund. Um, I can't think of any other big contracts they have, but if they can keep getting big contracts, and more power to them. Like this is what they're basically doing, what Nike did in the early 2010s,
yeah,
right? When everybody was wearing Nike, Nike was signing as many soccer teams as they wanted. Then they got, you know, the share of the market I guess they wanted. They're like, okay, now we don't need to pay people like 2 million, $3 million a season just to wear our boots. Like we
yeah.
don't
That's
like
a good point.
either you wear them or you don't. But like we got like the guys that we want that we think can carry the brand, and now Puma's saturating the market. And it's like I mean for their sake, I hope it pays off because I know it's not cheap outfitting. You know,
Yeah,
you know, half
Memphis
of the
and yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's like whatever you need, I got you. So it's like I hope it pays off for you. I don't know if it will, but then again, I'm a 35-year-old man. I don't know what an 18-year-old or a 16-year-old is telling their parents to buy them.
yeah,
I don't know. Kids love Jack Grealish. They should love Jack Grealish.
yeah.
So maybe they will want to wear what Jack. I mean, I didn't think Steph Curry could sell Under Armour. And then I see kids running around in Under Armour
Really?
basketball shoes. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I mean, kids are impressionable. We're
Kids are
grown men.
impressionable. I just think they were
We
that
aren't.
impressionable.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so we'll see. I guess we will see. I mean, I guess I can tell you one more truth. I did buy my first Puma product the other day. I
What?
bought a Manchester City kit.
Oh, yeah. Which one did you get?
The black and red one. The like, I think it's.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know
third.
if that's the third or the way, but yeah, I just thought
Yeah.
I was like, yo, before they get relegated to the championship, let me go ahead and get one more Manchester City jersey before they're obsolete, or they have to like change their name to something else because the Premier League's like you can't play here. But
That's
if you
funny.
change your name, to like the Meyerside Mud Dogs, you can stay in the league or whatever. Anyway, uh, so yeah, that's all I got there. Real quick before we forget, dude, I think we just, we should
Yeah.
just, send our respects to the victims of the earthquakes that happened in the last week in Turkey and Syria. Tragic stuff. A lot of, I'm sure, great people, died. One namely being Christian Atsu, former Chelsea Academy graduate. Didn't play a lot in the first team, did loan spells everywhere, and finally landed in the Turkish Super League and was seeing success as many of the Chelsea Academy players do. Unfortunately, he was found, I want to say yesterday morning, uh, in some of the debris from the earthquake. So, I mean,
It's awful. Super sad.
yeah, super sad stuff. So, condolences to the family, condolences to anybody who lost somebody they love in those earthquakes, and we're sending our best to the people of Syria and southern Turkey.
Well said.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Next things. Let's see here. What's going on in Italy? Napoli still looking good.
Osimhen's still looking like the best player aside from like Mbappe. That dude is the best player out there right now. I love watching him play.
Okay. Shout out to Nigeria. Oh, let's see. Was there anything else this week, Brooks? I feel like this might have been kind of a quiet week then. Because there was only what four Champions League games.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only that. I mean, Barcelona, or I guess there was Barcelona, Man U,
Yeah.
in the Europa League 2-2.
So speaking of that, man, or what's his name? Marcus Rashford won't stop scoring. And a good thing is like also Jadon Sancho came out with one today too so far. So It's good to see the
Yeah.
kids. Not even kids. It's good to see these guys, coming back to their best. Especially Marcus Rashford. This dude's on fire right now. It's
Yeah.
insane.
So happy for Marcus Rashford, man. Man U fans. Oh yeah, I guess we could talk about this, dude. Okay, so you saw Man U. So they may or may not be for sale. They were looking for some outside investment,
Yeah.
and then it turns out a couple of people made bids to buy the club in its entirety. Do you have any
Yeah.
thoughts on the Man U on the bids? Have you seen any of that?
Yeah.
I think
So
one of them.
yeah.
Oh,
What'd
go
you
go
say?
on, go. I was gonna
What'd you
say,
say?
go ahead. I was just gonna say, I think I feel like there was a few, but the ones that were the most important were the ones that came from the guy that's like the head of the Qatari
Yeah.
bank, and then the British business billionaire. I forget his name now.
Yeah. Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts there?
I mean, it's so crazy because everyone's been talking trash on the Glazers forever now, and I think that the Man United fans definitely want them out. But it's just a weird thing. It's like a weird sale. It's like, hey, we're not really up for sale, but maybe if the price is right, then yeah, we'll sell it. So like, just putting the feelers out there, and they're already saying that it's going to be what, around like 6.5 billion for this club.
Well, so that's the thing. Like the Glazers want 6.5 billion, but they're saying it's only worth about 4.5,
Yeah.
and we don't know how much the bids were for.
Yeah, I know that Jim Ratcliffe has been a lifelong Man U fan. However, he like what when he made his money or whatever, he's been living in London forever. So they've been, I guess, Chelsea season ticket holders for ever and ever. So his kids grew up going to Chelsea games, which is why he was linked to also buying Chelsea. But
Yeah.
um, his obviously preference would be to own Man United, and I just think that yeah, obviously Man United is going to cost more than Chelsea, but man, 6.5 billion is what they want is wild because I don't know if you've heard about all of the like
I know
repairs
what's
and
going on. Yeah.
disrepair that like Old
Yeah.
Trafford is in and
Yeah.
that whole,
Yeah. The condemned stadium. You're going to have
dude.
to start from scratch.
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge to get this place back to. It's going to be a big challenge when you've got to already up and pay 6.5 to just own the thing. So yeah, going for 6 seems insane. I don't know if it will. That sheik that owns the bank probably has that amount of money, I would imagine. But
Well, dude, the difference is like the Sheik. I'm just going to call him the Sheik, okay? No
yeah,
disrespect. I'm just going to call him the Qatari Sheik because I'm not good with those names like that.
yeah.
Excuse me. He said he'll just buy the club outright.
He's like
He's like
here,
he's like,
yeah,
here's the check, 4.5 billion. Take it or leave it. The club no longer has debt. I own the club outright. He said he's also a Man U fan,
yeah,
and I'm gonna start putting money into this club right away. I'm gonna like revamp this part of the city. I'm going to build new training facilities. Ronaldo was pissed about the training facility. He said they have the same jacuzzi from 2003. That was dirty. He did him dirty when he said that. I was like, dang, this is a small club. And he said he's also going to build a new stadium. Whereas Jim Ratcliffe, he's going to have to put together a consortium. It's like I don't know. I get it. Like you want a British owner, like that would
yeah.
be,
That's what was going to be my question to you. Would you
yeah.
prefer a British owner, the Glazers, or the Sheik? If you're a Man U fan, who do you
If I'm a
want?
Man U fan, I'm rolling with the Sheik all day because I'm like, listen, like I know people are like, oh yeah, like Qataris, if it's the state, you got to deal with like, oh yeah, like do they hate gay people? Are they committing genocide? Are they beating women? So on and so. Okay, maybe that's a characterization of a whole group of people, but I'm saying these are the kinds of questions that people are asking. But I'm like, this guy, the Sheik, this Qatari Sheik, he's like he's like a chair like on the board for like like I can't remember which Swiss bank it is, but like I feel like he's already like integrated into like European society and
Yeah,
been
yeah,
vetted to the degree where like they're like, yeah, this is a like an outstanding person. Like he's not like doing all this stuff, and it's like him buying it as a person that's setting up like a foundation to do it. So I feel like if I was a Man U fan, like if it was like, oh yeah, Saudi Arabia is buying your club or Qatar is buying your club, that's one thing. But like, oh, this man who happens to be from Qatar
hmm
is buying your club and he's also a Man U fan. I'm like, he has more money than you, Ratcliffe. Like, sorry, like you
Yeah.
can't use your nationality to get like your nationality is not going to win us any championships, and it's certainly not going to convince any players to come play for you. But you know what is
Money.
money?
But that being said, do you think that, like, let's say that it's 10 or 20 years from now when 90% of the Premier League clubs are owned by non-British people, let's say, Americans or Qataris or Middle Eastern companies or whatever. Do you think that that would potentially pose any sort of problems for the Premier League, or do you think that that's just kind of the way that it's going and everybody needs to be fine with that?
Me personally, I feel like this is I feel like it's a little bit weird territory. Like obviously, like yeah, it would be better. Like oh yeah, like this is an English club owned by an English person, but if there's a better person for the job,
Hmm.
why should they be precluded to do it because they're not English?
Yeah.
You know, that's how I feel. It's like, I mean, like, would I rather have an English owner? Like, let's say Southampton. Would I rather have an English owner at Southampton? Or if there's, let's just say, for sake, I'm wearing a Turkish billionaire is like, yo, I'm a big Southampton fan because my nephew played there, back in the '90s, and we've been following ever since. I fell into
Hmm.
some money. British clubs are a great investment. You can spend a ton of money and just play the long game and know that if I put in $10 billion, I might get 8 billion back, and at the end of 15 seasons, I can sell it for 3 times what I paid for it. And
Yeah.
you know what? That's good enough for me just to get a 2x or 3x of my money, and I can spend a ton. And then you have a British guy that's like, well, I'm also a fan, but like our model's like a lot less aggressive. Like we can only spend, you know, 30 million a season, and that's what we're gonna just spend 30 million a season for the next 10 seasons, and we'll just exist in the Premier League. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Like for me, I'm like, yeah, like you got to go with whoever's best for the job. Like nationality, really, unfortunately for me, can't really play a factor. I mean, if it's an
Yeah.
American owner that's cheap, like I feel like, for example, when you think about like American owners, historically they're not great owners because they
Right.
treat it like a business. So
Yeah.
I'm like, but like Todd Bowley, I mean, despite being brand spanking new to all this, he's broken that stereotype that the
Yeah.
American owner is a cheap owner. So like if there's like I feel like it's just like the kind of owner you are versus where
Totally.
you're from, and
Versus where
like
you're from. Where you're from
yeah,
probably is a bad way to that's literally judging. you know? So
yeah,
but to the I guess my biggest question to you is about the money, because the money is like getting crazy money now that they're paying in the Premier League to buy players and to during these transfer windows, and how much that they're buying. For example, Chelsea spent over 600 million in a year. So is that potentially bad for the Premier League? I guess the amount of money that these people are sinking into, American or Middle Eastern or British or not, the fact
yeah.
is that more and more and more and more money, crazy, crazy amounts of money are being sunk into this league. Is that potentially going to have like not a bubble effect, but just a big downfall in the future? Are they putting too
Yeah.
much too fast right now? Should they
Yeah.
be
So
careful?
I personally think no. So like we can look at the Enzo Fernandez deal.
Yeah.
That was all money spent, but it technically it went to Portugal, and then from Portugal it went back to Argentina. Like I'm pretty sure River Plate got
River
like
had a sell-on clause. Yeah.
yeah, they got like 25 million out of that deal.
Yeah.
So like from that perspective, like I don't know what River Plate's finances are like, but I would venture to say that 25 million to them for a player they sold 6 months ago for like six.
Six. Yeah.
That is amazing. Like
Yeah.
for River Plate, I would say that was amazing for the Portuguese league. That's also amazing. And as far as the Premier League, I mean, again, I feel like okay, this is what I think will happen. Like players will get to a point where they start getting priced out and they can't do transfers, and then they'll just start riding their contracts out to make the move to go wherever they want to go for free, kind of like what they do in Germany. So I feel like it will like
Even
balance
out.
itself
Okay.
out. Yeah, because it will get to a point where it's like okay, like if Enzo Fernandez is worth 120, then Jude Bellingham is worth 350 million. Who's
Yeah.
gonna buy Jude Bellingham for 350? No one. Okay, he's gonna finish his contract at Borussia Dortmund and he'll sign somewhere as a free agent. And then I just feel like it will get more to a place where like, maybe contracts are shorter or players won't sign unless there's a release clause.
Yeah.
Kind of like Erling Haaland, where it's like, yeah, like I know I'm worth 250 million, but I don't want to be priced out of a move and have to stay in Borussia Dortmund. So I'm not signing with you unless after 2 seasons I have a release clause that says I can go for 60 million. And
Yeah.
I feel like they do that a lot in Spain. They do that a lot in Germany. That's something you don't see a lot of in the Premier League. But I feel
Right.
like if this is the way that it's going, players, if they're advised properly, like if I was advising a player, like, listen, like, yeah, like, you're that guy, but like, it's not important. Like at the end of the day, like the data shows the more money you go for, the less likely you are to succeed.
Yeah.
So like, why would you ever want to be the world record transfer player? Like, I mean, it's cool until it isn't. And it isn't because you never live up to that price tag. No one has ever lived up to that price tag. Even people would say Neymar and Mbappe and Paris haven't because they still haven't won the Champions League, despite they've won every other trophy they've ever participated in.
Yeah.
So I would say like that. I feel like people like will counteract that so that they aren't put in a position where like things are out of control. Everyone will start having a release clause, and because people know that, then like they won't offer those crazy deals, or those crazy deals will like be less likely to occur because they're like, oh yeah, like if I just wait another year, the release clause will kick in and I'll get this player for a reasonable amount of money. And then like when it's like these Pedris and Gavis and Ansu Fatis that, Barcelona are putting on like $1 billion release clauses, it's like, okay, you're making it clear. Like all you're saying is like this player is never
Not
for sale.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like that's your way of saying that because no one's ever going to pay that. And it's totally fine to have a player that's not for sale. And one day you might decide you want to sell them, but that player will also then be a negotiated price that's reasonable and not, 150 million. What do you think?
No, well said. I mean, I think you're spot on because we've seen this before, right? Like one of the biggest ones that this started to happen with was Pogba. Bought him for 90 something million. And he did exactly what you said. He was like, no, I'm not signing another contract. I'm going to go to where I want to go when this thing runs out. And he did. And I think that kind of to your point, like the players that are getting bought for this, like I think that their representatives or their agents, or maybe it's them, are just getting smarter with how their contract is handled, which is good for them. I mean, they're treated as though they're, a product. And so I think that it's good that they're protecting themselves like you've mentioned. So yeah, I don't really have an issue with it. I think that that's just the natural progression of the game. Buying, as things get inflated, obviously players and prices will get inflated. So I think it's just part of the way that the world works, especially business, which we all know that this game is. And so I'm glad to see that these players are kind of, getting paid, but also protecting themselves and their name. And, like you said, just making sure that they're getting kind of what they want at the end.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is like, I really do like, for example, in the example of like Enzo Fernandez, I like the idea of having sell-on clauses baked into the contracts that also like the smaller clubs, like let's say the feeder clubs aren't getting completely screwed. Because it's like I'd say the majority of the players that come from like outside of the the top 5 European leagues, like guys that are coming from like second division in France, guys that are coming from like Belgium, guys that are coming from South America, every once in a while America, like these guys are coming in all for like less than 10 million. Like they're coming in for pennies on the dollar. So it's like random CONCACAF or CONMEBOL or, the Asian club that sells or African club that sells player, they get nothing. Player goes to like Benfica or player goes to like Club Brugge or something like that, gets seen, then gets sold on for like 40 or 50 mil. It's like, okay, like they only played for like a season or two. Like sell on clause, like you just got to realize like Chelsea aren't scouting at River Plate. Chelsea are scouting at Benfica. Benfica is scouting at River Plate. It's like it all feeds into the system. So it's like, either A, Chelsea's going to start scouting at River Plate, And Benfica is never going to get those players because they're just going to sell them like the kind of way Santos sold Neymar straight to Barcelona for a big fat sum. That was still a deal, like 60 million for Neymar in 2013 or 12. That's a bargain. Like that's easy. Like the kid that Real Madrid just signed from Palmeiras that will come next season, the kid Endrick. Those are all deals. So it's like, do you want the Giants to start invading like these wealth countries, or you could just give them all, do per sign-on clauses with percentages, and that way, like these intermediate leagues are also participating in the soccer pyramid and getting their money, and playing their part, which I personally prefer. To
too.
say like oh yeah, like Luis Suarez. He came from independent. How do you say it? Independent. Yeah. To PSV to Liverpool, Liverpool to Barcelona, Barcelona to Atletico back down to. Say it again.
Independiente.
There you go. So
that's a good point, because obviously being South American, I would love to see. We've talked about this in the past, but I'd love to see a little bit more. People looking out for these South American clubs, and I think that, to your point, all of these, if they're purchased from or like outside of the top 5, leagues or whatever, or South American, even, Mexican leagues or African leagues, like I believe that they should automatically have a sell-on clause baked into that. If like a Benfica is coming for them or a Chelsea is coming for them. And there's a reason that, they have, there is that trajectory of, rather than South America straight to England, it's South America to Portugal or to, the Netherlands or Belgium or whatever, and then to obviously the Premier League. But one thing that, to your point, like Man City is starting to raid the Argentine league these last couple seasons. They picked up a few. They just signed another one in January. So the talent is there. I just think that, historically these big Premier League clubs aren't really searching a ton down there. One, there's a ton of from Brazil alone that would just be super hard to sift through.
There's too much talent to look at. So
much. But also, I think that it's good that Benfica is doing this thing, or I don't know, Dortmund to an extent, or PSV. These clubs are looking, because, you're right. There is a chain of command in order. And I think that, it all kind of works out in the end. But I do like to see a sell-on clause for these smaller South American clubs. And even these, mid-sized European clubs get money from these players that they've invested in.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, Brooks, do we have anything else we need to discuss at this point in time on the Abrazo Football Podcast?
I mean, I don't think so. I think that, by the way, so the New York edition, I heard we were on the streets yesterday here in Barcelona, and we heard it. We heard some New Yorkers trying to get a hold of each other, and it was just Yerr. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So no, man, I don't have anything to say aside from Barcelona signed that Mexican kid from MLS.
Yep, LAFC, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see more Hispanic, like Mexican, South American kids coming to Europe to play.
I'll tell you something about this kid right now. He'll be playing at Everton by let's say September.
Are you gonna buy MLS season package or whatever it's called?
How much is it?
I don't know. I think if you're an Apple TV subscriber, it's like $80
for the year.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll buy it. $80, I'll buy it. If it's $80, I'll buy it.
T-Mobile subscribers get it for free, so I think on Tuesday. So let me just give you the login.
Wait, who gets it for free?
T-Mobile subscribers. So I'll just sign in and I'll just redeem it and then send it to you.
Like in Europe?
Well, the thing with MLS, Apple is it's throughout the whole world. So I still subscribe. I still have my T-Mobile number in the States because they have unlimited, international data, texting, all that stuff.
Well, bro, I have T-Mobile.
Oh, so then you'll get it too.
I didn't know T-Mobile gets it for free.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is the last thing we'll talk about. So if you are a T-Mobile subscriber, go and get MLS Season Pass. I won't be watching any of those games. First of all, because I live in Europe where those games are all like 4 a.m. Second of all, I've never watched much MLS in my life. I went to see Beckham. I went to see Thierry Henry. That was about it, though. I actually saw Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard and Pirlo. But
I gotta
aside
go
from
look
that,
into this. I didn't know.
yeah, I'll send you the article.
Yeah, send me the article. I didn't know. I've been paying for it. I've been paying for the family plan for years now.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. They only get the MLS thing for free.
But still, oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, still, send it. Yeah, send it. Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, for $80, I mean, I watch the odd MLS game. Like I'll watch RSL. Like I'll
Okay.
watch. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. You know what I'm saying I watch the
There you go.
hometown when they play. Shout out to my man Alvaro Saborio. He retired a long time ago. But so yeah, for $80 to watch all the games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like $5 a game. That's and it's Apple. So,
Yeah. Support.
Got to support. All
Yeah.
right then. So thanks for the plug, bro.
Yeah.
I would have been paying $80.
It's actually Chad
I
sent me the
would.
article. So yeah.
Okay. Dang, gotta send that to my old man too. I think he's on T-Mobile because
Cool.
he would pay for it. My dad pays for my dad pays for so many different subscription services. I don't use them anymore, but I used to use him for everything. Like, can I get that password? Can I get that password? Can I get that password? And it's like I gotta stop mooching. All right
Yeah.
then. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. It's another day. It's another. Well, I don't know. I said that, guys. Brooks, good chit chat. Talk to you guys later. Peace. I have no idea why I said that.